Okay, so this is the second video, and I think that I have solved my sound problem, so hopefully this will be better. So in the first video, I was talking about Prigozhin and how he was saying these nutty things. Everybody's getting this wrong. They're like, the hard news is saying only the facts about it, which they should be. Prigozhin says the war in Ukraine has backfired, warns of Russian revolution. CNN says Wagner chief warns Russia could revolt if invasion continues to struggle. They're saying legitimate facts, but they're not putting it in context. And I think that the YouTubers who are pro-Ukraine are getting it wrong because they're like gleefully saying, and I'm not going to show you the clips, you can watch them, saying things like, look, he's saying things that if I didn't know better, I thought they were pro-Ukraine. Look what he's saying. I think they're getting it wrong. And I'm out on a limb. This is just my theory here. I can't prove this. And I'm telling you straight up, I cannot prove this. But my theory is this, and I showed you this video in the last video, Prigozhin's secret sauce, right? Go back like 2 days, and I talked about how, and this is based on a video or an article that was in The Guardian about how, I think it was The Guardian, no, it was Radio Free Europe, about how Prigozhin is a special military operation within a special military operation. What he's doing is he's parroting whatever it is that Putin wants him to parrot. And it's a good symbiotic relationship between Putin and Prigozhin because it builds up Prigozhin's stature and Putin gets to still be presidential and still slap at his generals, or in this case, as you're going to see today in this video, his oligarchs. So if Putin wants, and now why would he do that? So a good leader wants to build you up and encourage you and inspire you, but a authoritarian is not interested in that. He wants to motivate you by chastising you or threatening you or whatever he's doing. So that, I think, is what is actually transpiring here. So we're going to go and watch this. This is in the, thank you to the Russian Media Monitor for putting this together. They put the subtitles on it. I will read the subtitles, and then I will also stop periodically for some commentary. So here we go. One current topic, says the interviewer, is a discussion of the behavior of the children of high-ranking officials. A special operation is underway. It's all over the TV, including the federal channels I watch on television. There's some kind of an imbalance between what we see on TV and the lives that they lead. Their blogs, their videos with details about their lives, that they are completely detached from reality. They cause emotions that are unreal. How do you feel about this phenomenon as to the lives of the children of Russian elites? So that's the setup for Prigozhin. In your opinion, should something be done? Now, Prigozhin gets to comment on that, and he's going to say, I believe what Putin wants to say to the elites. That's what's happening here. Let's hear what Prigozhin has to say. And within that context, he can be as nutty or blowing himself up to make himself look better or whatever as he wants, as long as he's carrying that message. This is my theory. Russia's elites are a whole different story, but their kids are like a star on a Christmas tree. I don't think that the kids in any other country indulge themselves as they do in Russia. Dmitry Peskov's son, who prompted so many conversations. Peskov told me, my son wants to go to war. He wants to be part of PMC Wagner. Notice that Peskov's son, in Prigozhin's telling of it, didn't want to join the military. He wanted to join PFC Wagner because PFC Wagner is the best, right? Okay, so that's Prigozhin blowing himself up in some importance, and he's allowed, I think, to do that as long as he carries Putin's message, which is a message to the elites, rein in your kids. Okay? Watch. This move was despised. Well, who was it despised by? By the parents of the golden youth. When I come to see some of the people I know, and historically I know many people, in the bureaucratic cluster of the deep state, with horror they say, why are you babbling about this? Why are you babbling about the kids? They're all psychotic. Leave the kids alone. What are you thinking? These are the kids. Sergei Lavrov's daughter lives in America. Somebody else lives someplace too. Well, have you no shame? Just look at what's happening. What's going on with Sergei Shoigu. Shoigu's son-in-law goes around shaking his buns. I mean his rear end, you know? And his daughter, okay, so he's attacking Shoigu. That's nothing new. He likes attacking Shoigu. But if Putin's not happy about Shoigu's son-in-law's behavior, He's not telling this, Putin's not saying it. He's allowing Prigozhin to be the surrogate to say it. So I think that's actually what's happening here. And his daughter is opening these Krasnov something forts. Did you earn money for these forts? Are you spending your own money on those forts? Spend it on ammo, expletive. How can Shogu's son-in-law go to the Arab Emirates and shake his booty? His certain tendencies are clearly shining through, which is apparent through and through. No biggie, that's for his family to deal with. I couldn't really care less. But this should not be happening. In the best case scenario, the offspring of the elites at least keep their pie holes shut. Now that, I think, is the message that Putin is trying to send. Keep your pie holes shut. You can have what you're doing over there. Just don't make a thing about it. Now you're becoming kind of a thorn in my flesh, and so I have to send my surrogate to say these things that he's saying. But some of them are allowing themselves to publicly flaunt their fat, carefree lives. Here's what is very important. I hope we will address this at length later on. If not, I will remind you. What is very important is that the elites are not the only ones who have children. While the kids of the elite are applying moisturizers and show it off on Instagram, YouTube, etc., the kids of average people are coming home in zinc coffins, torn to pieces. There are pieces of meat mixed with dirt, but that little punk in the Arab Emirates is swinging his butt. The only thing this dichotomy can lead to is revolution, like in 1917. Whoa, Dr. Gerdes, you got to be wrong. He can't be Putin's mouthpiece. He's talking about revolution. Yes, but put it in context. He's not talking about revolution that's going to dethrone Putin. He's talking about revolution that's going to come after the oligarchs. So that's really what you need to understand. In the beginning, the soldiers will rise up, and after that, their relatives will. No one should think that there are only hundreds of them. There are tens of thousands of relatives of those killed. There will certainly be hundreds of thousands of them. It's unavoidable. Okay, so now highlighting that people have been killed is not something that Putin wants to do, you'd say. Right, he doesn't. But he also wants to send this message more than he wants to not highlight that, I think. And all of it will suddenly end in St. Bartholomew's Night Massacre. I will act strictly according to the law. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I will beg, I will write, I will cry, but the people will treat it differently. They will take up their pitchforks and impale them with their pitchforks. Note the plural, them. They're not saying, he's not saying that they're going to come after Putin. No, they're going to come after Putin's line of defense, who Putin can blame things on, the oligarchs. That's who they're coming after. So this is a threat to the oligarchs from Prigozhin, or from Putin through Prigozhin, and I think that's what's going on here. He's not just going, see, the people are going to rise up. That's not the narrative. You shouldn't be looking at just that, and that's all that I see being carried, even by YouTubers who study and follow this very carefully. I don't think that they're thinking about this at all. Okay, just a little bit more. And impale them on their pitchforks. This is what the fat lifestyle of the kids will end up with. I recommend for the elites of the Russian Federation to gather up your offspring and send them to war. Wow. Okay, so that was Prigozhin's message, but you have to understand it in context. And if I'm right, and I could be wrong, if I'm wrong, put in the messages below. That's fair. I can be wrong. I have been wrong in the past before. I'm willing to be wrong now. Tell me how I'm wrong. But if I'm right, he's being Putin's mouthpiece. Please watch this video, Prigozhin's Secret Sauce. It's very important for your understanding about what is going on in context. With that, I say thank you. Thank you for the coffees. Thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for the likes. Please share this with someone else if you think that I'm on the right track, and just have that discussion, because we all want to learn and grow. And if I'm wrong, correct me. I want to be corrected. All right. Thank you most of all for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you will be too.